house. This is Dr. Tyen, and I am just like feeling really good. And what is it? 7? Is it 7 o'clock here? 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, in between that time. I've been up for a moment. I've been up since 5. I got me some tea, which I'm waiting to cool down. And in the meantime, I'm here talking to you guys. I want to share an experience with you. I was kind of contemplating, should I talk about this? Is it prematurely? Is it prematurely to talk about my experience? But I'm like, I never know who I can inspire or who I'm helping. Who's here with me? I see that there was 2 people. Okay, yeah, there's 2 people. Can you press that like button for me? Those of you that are here, I greatly appreciate you. Thank you for rising up in space and love and light with me this morning. Okay, so here's my experience. There's 3 of you here now. Namaste, beautiful Aaliyah. So here's my experience, beloveds. I was not looking. I was not looking for a love interest. I've been doing like a 30-day self-love challenge, which my 30 days is over, but I'm still doing the self-love. I'm still spoiling myself. I'm still doing everything that I want to do for myself. And I got tears in my eyes because this soulmate is just, it's so overwhelming. How he's coming in, because he's coming in so fucking strong, and I'm just like, back up, like control yourself, like calm the fuck down, it's like he's like, Tyen, you're just so beautiful, I just can't help myself. I mean, he probably told me on our first date, which was last night, that I was beautiful over at least 100 times, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm like, can you focus on something else? Like, can we talk about, he was like, I just can't help it. Like, I'm just thinking out loud. But okay, this is how it started. I digress. Um, 2 weeks ago, I decided, a friend of mine showed me that she got her picture drawn of her soulmate. And she met him 2 days later. And I'm like, oh, that is some cool stuff. So I was like, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and have my picture of my soulmate drawn too, just for grins and giggles. I wasn't really reading too deep into that, not thinking that I was going to eventually meet him in real life like she did. Well, you guys, long behold, after I had booked my flight here to my beach house, I met this guy, and the way that I met him was very auspicious. I was invited by another guy, okay, that I was talking to, that I was pretty much digging, I was into, and I'm still actually digging, honestly. And he works at the place, and he had saw us there eating lunch, and they invited us back for dinner for the band. So, really? Whoa. So anyway, you guys, I'm just like, chilling, minding my business and trying to be cute for the other guy, because obviously he invited me there. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just go ahead and, you know, chill, listen to the band. Sorry, y'all, I'm just adjusting here. Listen to the band. And V, who was with me, she was like, Tyen. I said, yeah. She said, look in your motherfucking phone. Your soulmate's here. I'm like, what? It threw me off because he was literally, you guys, standing right next to me. And she was like, Tyen, he's been looking at you the whole time. He's been checking you out the whole time. He's been looking over here. And I'm like, okay. So I look at my phone because I have my soulmate as my wallpaper just in case I was out and I seen him. I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, innately and intuitively, I knew I was going to see him, but I didn't know I was going to see him here in Florida. in Florida. So anyway, I had him on my wallpaper just in case of. So I look at the picture, I look at him, I look at the picture again, I look at her, and I look like I saw a deer in the headlight because I'm like, that's him. She said, I know, that's what I've been telling you. So you guys, I froze up. I didn't know what to say. I'm like, what do I say to him? She was like, Tyann, asking for the time, and she snatched my phone. I'm like, excuse me. I said, sir, what is the time? Now, you guys know we all have fucking cell phones. We don't need to know no time. It ain't like, back in the 90s where we had pagers, right? We all have cell phones. We always have our cell phones on us, everybody. Why am I asking you for the time? He gave me the time. After he gave me the time, you guys, it was on and popping. It did not stop. It was just a continuum of him conversating with me. And he looked at me. He was like, listen, I'm just going to be straightforward and honest with you. He said, you look amazing. You are so beautiful. He was like, I really want to get a chance to know you. He said, can I have your number? And I was shocked again because it's like, okay, this guy that's in my phone is asking me for my number. Okay. So I gave him my number. And I guess he didn't believe that I gave him the right number. He was like, can I see the way that my number shows up in your phone? V had my phone, so my phone was ringing. So he told me last night that he thought that I gave him her number. But anyway, long story short, she said, oh, here's your phone back. Like she played it off, like, here's your phone back. So I grabbed my phone and he texted me a picture of him. And then I texted him a picture of me back to put in his contact, blah, blah, blah. And so I finally got a chance to, he wanted to hook up that night, but I didn't know it. All I knew is that we texted for 3 hours after we met, you guys. 3 straight hours of texting. And finally, we established that we were going to go out yesterday. And we went out. When I went out with him, I met his dog, who was very beautiful. And she was trying to kiss me, you guys, on our date. She kept on trying to kiss me in my mouth. I'm like, listen, dog, don't be trying to kiss me in my mouth. I kept on telling him, I said such and such, your dog, your dog keeps trying to kiss me in the mouth. He was like, nah, like he wasn't believing me. I'm like, well, why would I lie about that? Like the dog was in the car and she kept looking over at me and she kept on going, like leaning in, and eventually he believed me because he started saying it for himself. He was like, this is wild. Like he was like, my dog normally don't kiss strangers. I'm like, well, if I'm a soulmate, I'm not your stranger, and dogs are very intuitive. And he was like, whoa. So I told him the story that I told you guys of how I looked at my phone and when I showed him the picture of himself, you guys, you normally don't think you look like anybody, but the fact that he confirmed that that was a great down portrait of himself down to his features. He was like, but that man is white though. I'm like, no, he's not. I said, look at this picture again. I said, he has the same olive color skin that you have. And I said, you see the darker tones there? He was like, oh, okay, okay. Oh, yeah, I see that. I'm like, oh, talking about that man is white. The man is a little bit lighter, but um, if I didn't know him, like if I didn't know him as my soulmate and knew that he was going to be like a foreigner, I would have considered him as being white because he's very light. But anyway, um, I'm saying all this to say that I have had the most amazing time with him. He didn't even want to let me go. It got, the conversation got so deep that he talked about flying me back down here. But he was like, I want to fly you back down here on a one way. He said, because I don't ever want to let you go. I don't ever want you to go back home. Like, I want you to come down here. I want you to live with me. I'm like, oh Jesus, like I just met you, like type thing. Like I don't move that fast, you guys. I don't. And I told him that. I said, no disrespect. That was a wonderful offer, but I don't know you to live with you. And we all know when you live with someone, things tend to be different. You really get a chance to meet the real person. He was like, Tyann, I'm so comfortable with you. He was like, you just don't understand. Like, I really feel like I have to impress women, and I really have to just kind of go above and beyond to make them happy. He said, but with you make me so happy. He said, I never felt a woman that just made me feel so happy. I could be myself with you. And so I told him that because he didn't want me to leave. And he was like, I need you. Like, I need to touch you. Like, I need to see you every day because he doesn't do long distance relationships. Well, he does now. And I told him that, I'll be leaving. I got plans to, do other things and travel the world. And I have, I told him my itinerary for the next 6 months and the places that I'm going. He wanted to go to one of the places that I'm going. And I'm like, for real? Like you can travel. Like this is my dream, you guys, is to travel with my soulmate around the world. He was like, Tyann, I'm an entrepreneur. I work for my fucking self. I can take time off whenever I want to. I could travel whenever I want to. I said, no shit. Like this is cool. Like this is cool. This is what I manifested. So you guys, I manifested my soulmate within 2 weeks of having the pictures drawn. Um, and I didn't even realize that I was calling my soulmate in because I was just pouring into myself, really, honestly. And I wasn't really, working really hard to pull someone else in. But at the same time, I was open. I told the universe that I was open and that I was ready because I'm ready to move forward in my life. And you guys, he is beautiful. And I don't call man beautiful. That man is beautiful. He is amazing. He's 6 feet. Yeah. And you guys can do it too. And the reason why I took out the time and energy to even discuss something like this is because it always happens when you're not looking, when you least suspect it. Okay. When you have no expectations, that is when you meet your soulmate. A lot of people want to meet their soulmate, but they forget to mate their soul. I made it my soul for 30 days, and I'm going to keep pushing you guys. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to continue to keep spoiling myself, traveling, just having a time of my life. He came at a time that I was my most happiest in my life, really. And I came at a time, honestly, his aunt just died. And he has to move out of his beach house. He showed me his beach house. Jesus Christ. He used to live in the condos the condos that I'm living in right now. And he was on the seventh floor. And so when we met, we talked about that, and we were like, oh wow, we got a lot in common. Like for real, he was like, yeah. He said, I used to stay there. Like these condos are like $2,000 a month, and that's the starting price. They go up to 5,000 a month, and he was like, yeah. He said, but I got my own place now, and he was like, but I have to move, blah, blah, blah. He was telling me, his situation. He was kind of down because it was cheaper than even here and bigger. And he had his own pool. And he drives a really nice car. And he was like, yeah, so this is my life. And he was like, I want you to be a part of it. Like, I really don't want you to go. He was like, I just want you wholly and completely. Because when he texted me, he told me he wanted to be my friend. But me being a psychic, I knew he wanted more than that because we texted for 3 hours. You don't text someone that you want to be a friend with for 3 hours, right? So he finally told me, he was like, Tyann, I want you wholly and completely. I want to take care of you. I know you can take care of yourself. He was like, but I want to take care of you. He was like, because I was telling him how, I make a lot of money. Okay, you guys, I make a lot of money. I would leave all of that if I come down here. So, what's my incentive to leave all of that to come down here? He was like, don't even worry about it. He was like, don't worry about, you know, your responsibilities. Don't worry about, the money that you was making here. He was like, I will take care of you. On the first date, um, that really baffled me because I wasn't expecting any of that. He was like, because I told him the age of my children, he was like, I want you to live with me. I want you to stay with me. Your kids are grown. Yeah, but I have two younger children. I definitely could not leave them. They would have to come. And so anyway, it's kind of like ironic because I've been thinking about moving to Florida anyway. And then the fact that he was like, well, I'm looking for a bigger place because I have to move in April anyway. He said, so I'll make sure that I get a place that's big enough for your younger children to come. And I'm like, what? I'm just like, this is moving really fast. And I don't like things to move fast. So let's just go ahead and take this slow and see how it goes. So there we go, you guys. I am at the beginning. Um, I'm at the beginning of a soulmate relationship that is wonderful, you guys. He's amazing. And where he lives at, um, so let's just say that I know that he has money. Not that that's a prerequisite or a condition for me because love is love, but it's also nice to know that I have someone, even though I can take care of myself, that wants to take care of me. You feel me? Oh, okay, Aaliyah. The man that drew my soulmate, I'm telling you guys that my soulmate looks identical. They look like twins. That's how good that man is that drew my soulmate. And the fact that they use numerology and astrology too in the drawing, I guess that can really confirm for me how I actually met him in person because they used all of that. And I was just thinking, oh, they're just being extra. They're just trying to make it just, how people just do extra shit just to make it look good and sound good. You know what I'm saying? So, what we used to call it, I used to be a salesperson, is snake oil. Oh, he just sold me snake oil. So that's what I was thinking. Okay, well, I didn't think anything of it, you guys. It's just a portrait. I'm like, okay, I didn't put any stock into that portrait until, thank you. I know, Libra, Sunshine, Tarot. I was like, I actually am talking to this guy. This guy is actually holding my hand, holding my face, kissing my forehead, and just saying, I want you. Like, Tyann, because I asked him, I said, well, what are your goals? Like, what do you want? What do you want from this connection? And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just stared at him. I looked at him. I said, you're my soulmate. So you tell me what I mean. Really, let's see how connected we are. He was like, okay, Tyann, I do want to test this out. I do want to marry you. I want to take care of you. I want to be with you. He was like, I really honestly am like now depressed that you're about to leave me. He was like, that got me down. He was like, because I honestly, if you lived here, he was like, we would have been in touch every single day. I promise. He said it would not have been a day that I would have let pass that I've not talked to you, not spoke to you. He was like, because he was like, I really feel like this was divine. I really feel like this is like everything I prayed for. He's Italian. I'm not lying to you. You are everything I prayed for. Everything that I prayed for, Tanya. That's what you are. You embody that. And you guys, can I tell you, we almost didn't go. We almost did not go to that bar because when we walked there, soon as we got at least 6 steps to that restaurant slash bar, V sandal broke, brand new sandals. And we had to turn back around and walk back to our building to get her some new sandals. And then my eyelashes, it just popped up. It just popped off my eye. And when I put it back on, I had glue, white glue in my lashes that I had to pick out and I couldn't get out. I said, V, I'm not going. I said, this is a sign. This is a sign for me not to go. No, actually, it was a sign for me to go. The universe was just slowing me down and delaying me so I can meet my freaking soulmate, y'all. That is just how amazing the universe is. The universe had us on perfect timing to the T. If we would have got there when we did, we would have missed him picking up his pizza. We got there exactly on time. So I can meet him. And I met him and he's amazing. But it's difficult for me because in all of my relationships that I have had, and I have not had that many, I'm used to going slow. I'm used to taking things slow. Like, you met me on the first night and already trying to move me into your beach house. And I'm like, I can't do that. Even though you're my soulmate, I don't want to do that. I want to know more about you. I want to know your love language. I want to know what sets you off. I want to know what calms you down. I want to get a chance to know you entirely. And just meeting you, I know that you guys, there is a strong magnetism. It's very strong. He felt it and he could not help himself. He was like, listen, I know you won't believe me, but I'm not all over women like this, like, like I'm all over you. He was like, I just feel so comfortable with you that I could just kind of, you know, be myself. And so I rubbed my fingers through his hair. He was like, girl, don't do that again. Do not do that again. That's my spot. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ignite that in you. But he has beautiful hair. His hair is like, oh my God. He looks like, I don't know. He's Polynesian, okay? Um, he looks really exotic. But you know how like a Greek man looks? He kind of look Grecian. Okay, if I can give you an example of what he looks like. And he's tall. He's like, oh, he has the perfect body. The universe knew. The universe knew. But ordinarily, you guys, I would not have talked to him. Like, he would not have been someone I would go for. Just because I've never dated someone of his culture. I've never dated, someone that was, no, he's not Polynesian. Uh, he told me last night he's mixed with two different things, but he's definitely not, Caucasian. He's a beautiful soul, inside and out. He has a good heart. I picked up on that. And he was like, you're not going to ghost me, are you? He was so concerned about me ghosting him. I'm like, no. He was like, you're so beautiful. And he was like, and then, I've dated black women before, and they tend to tell me they're going to call me back and they don't, and da 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 da. I'm like, I'm not going to ghost you. Like, we spent 4 hours together last night. And I said, why would I waste my time? He was like, well, you'll be surprised. So he was more concerned. He was like, Tanya, I don't want to lose you. I'm like, he said, I know that might sound kind of funny because we just met. He said, but it's something about you that's just telling me that you need to stay in my life. So that's it. Okay, I'm done ranting about that. You guys, I love you. Thank you for allowing me to share my experience. The whole intent and purpose of why I did so is to let you guys know you can draw in anything that you want. You can draw in your soulmate. You just have to be in alignment. You have to clear. I did a lot of clearing, you guys. You guys seen me. I posted some of my videos. I did a lot of clearing and cutting of cords of my exes. Okay. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, continue manifesting because the universe is hearing everything that you're saying and every thought that you're thinking. Make sure that you are in congruency of what you want. I love you all. Namaste.